Hey guys, so I've done a video about the things that I like about this car, but it definitely isn't perfect, and of course just talking about the things that I like doesn't really help people as much as talking about the things that I don't like. And if you're thinking about getting one of these cars, if it's on your horizon of potential vehicles, there are some questions you might have about how it's going to apply to your life. And of course, this is a 2017 base model Kia Soul. I'll put the specs. You can pause the video right now for the specs. We don't need to talk about those. You can look those up anywhere or just read them. But if you're thinking about getting this car, there are definitely some considerations that you need to make, especially if you're like a family. So the number one thing, and these are in no particular order, even though I'm saying number one. The first thing that I don't particularly like is the gas mileage. That sometimes I get it between 25 to 30 miles per gallon. Pretty rare I get over 30 miles per gallon, and I actually think that has to do with kind of the ethanol content of the gas, and of course it has to do with how you drive it as well. But in general, I drive it always the same. Whenever I'm on a road trip, I'm always on the interstate, and I'll fill it up one time and I'll get 25 miles to the gallon, and I'll fill it up another time and I get 31 miles to the gallon. And but the thing is my mother drives a Chevy Equinox, which is unquestionably a larger car, and it gets better gas mileage than this. So the gas mileage could be a little bit better. The number two thing that I don't particularly care about this car is they don't offer a four-wheel drive. Now, apparently, I've looked this up, apparently there would be just too much modification to the car for it to make sense. So that's kind of why they don't offer a four-wheel drive. But having all-wheel drive, especially if you're in a northern climate, it would really be nice. Driving in the snow and stuff. It's front-wheel drive. It gets pretty decent handling in the snow, but by far not perfect. Let's see here. This is a pretty big one. The luggage configuration. If you're a family of four, or even if you're not a family of four, this back, it looks like it holds a lot, and it does. It holds quite a bit. But at the same time, having the full-size luggage that you would take, that is the step up from like a carry-on size, you can only fit like one of those in here. It fits upright right here. You can't fit two of them in here. It doesn't work. Even if you take this out and whatever else, you can't fit those luggage in here. There's not enough room here for it. And it just doesn't work. There's only one full-size luggage that can fit here. Likewise, if you have carry-on size, you can kind of Tetris them in here to where you can have like four of them. But if you're kind of a heavy packer and you have a family of four, you may want to think twice about this car if you're using this for like vacations and stuff, because it just doesn't really work for the luggage. Another thing that I don't particularly care for is in the back, these mirrors are pretty high. So the seats are right here and the mirrors are pretty high. I didn't clean out the car or anything for this video. And whenever you have kids in the car, they can't really see out the windows. And it's easy to brush that off with importance, but at the same time, like, kids like to look out. It's part of their entertainment, and in my opinion, it's definitely healthy for them to look out and see the world. It's better than burying their nose in an iPad for the whole time. But the high windows, if you've got kids in the car, even with a booster seat, it's pretty tough for them to see out of the window. Let's see here. The next thing I don't particularly like, and like I said, these aren't in any particular order. There's no spare tire in this. So all the way under here, I've got like some miscellaneous stuff in this storage compartment, and then this pulls out and there's a spare tire compartment where a spare tire would fit, but they just put in a fix-a-flat kit. And let me tell you, it's easy to brush that off, like saying, oh, I've got AAA, I'll just call someone, I don't know how to change out a tire anyways. Trust me on this, when it is 8 o'clock at night and you get a flat tire like I did, and that fix-a-flat kit does not work, which it just didn't work for us. You know, we had to call a tow truck. Of course, I had AAA, but at the same time, if I would have had a spare tire, I could have swapped it out in 15 minutes and been on the road, done and done. But at this, you know, because it didn't have a spare tire kit, that turned into a 4-hour ordeal where I had to wait 2.5 hours for a tow truck. They had to tow it to a 24-hour tire place. It was either that or they tow it to the place and I don't get the car till the next morning. It was just a freaking headache, and I ordered a spare tire and put it in there, but it cost me an extra $200. You're gonna want a spare tire. Even if you don't know how to change out a tire, there were multiple people that offered to stop and say, hey, can I help you out changing the tire? And so even if I were like in a situation that I didn't know how to change out the tire, it's still, a spare tire would have just helped, like unbelievably made that night so much better. Hard lesson learned. If you do end up getting this car, make sure you get a spare tire. Order it online. I'll put a link in the description below, actually. Another thing that I don't like about this car, I've had my passengers have complained when they're sitting in the back. They don't feel confined, but that the temperature difference is, the temperature is different from the front. They're either hot or cold. It's not, and you can tell, you can feel the difference that, like, if you've got the heat rocking out in the front, it doesn't necessarily mean that they've got it rocking out in the back. They might be cold, they might be hot, and it just doesn't, getting the temperature to balance between the front and the back. There are no vents or anything back here. It's only front heat and air conditioning. And I actually think there might be a vent under these seats for the back, but it's just, either way, it doesn't matter. The temperature is different, and especially if you've got kids that get like car sick or something, that could be kind of a game changer. Let's see here. Another thing that I don't particularly care for, so I've got this Kia Soul and I've got this Chevy Trax. If you put them side by side, this one might appear to be a little bit bigger, but it really isn't. However, these seats sit up. These seats really sit down and low. And I would really like to have seats that just sat up a little bit higher. You can adjust that and stuff, but just given the configuration of the car, which, like I said, overall I like the configuration of the car, but I would like, it's definitely a lower car than what it looks. So that's the final. Oh, and then there's one final thing that I don't particularly care about this car. The back doesn't really have cup holders. It has these things in the door, but these things, trust me, they only fit water bottles. If you have a small, normal size water bottle, it fits there. If you're stopping at McDonald's, Wendy's, any fast food where they have the paper cups or plastic cups and it has the lid, it's not fitting in here at all. So there's no cup holders back here. So if you're on a road trip or anything, especially if it's got ice, if the cups have ice in it, you're holding those cups. And there's only 2 cup holders in the front. So maybe I've actually thought about getting some sort of like cup holder situation that would like mount on the seat or something, I don't know. But these will not hold cups. So like I said, road trip, stopping at McDonald's or anything like that, it's not gonna do any favors for the people sitting in the back. They're gonna have to hold those cups and then eat their food with the one hand. So that's really the only things that I could figure out that I significantly disliked about this car. Overall, I give this car a huge thumbs up, probably 9 out of 10 if I had to score it. No car is perfect, but considering how much I paid for this car, I got this car brand new for $16,300, I believe, and then out the door, completely taxes, everything paid, license plate fees and everything paid was $17,100. Everything said and done. So that's a pretty good deal for a brand new car that has a pretty good warranty and things of that nature. So those are the things that I don't like about the car. Check out my video about the things that I do like, and I hope you guys learned something. I hope this helps you decide which car is right for you and maybe not right for you. And if you have any questions or comments, post them below. Otherwise, thank you for watching.